earlier about the number 61, and we'll talk about its significance in just a minute here while people jump on. You can show us some love, comment below, whatever your heart desires. Exciting stuff. Alright, so we'll just dig right into it. Because this is going up on our blog, we should do our little introductions. So, my name's Samantha Forrest.
Brian.
And we're going to talk to you about sugar today. So the number 61, the significance of it is that there are, actually after doing some research, there's more than 61 different names for sugar. Just sugar. Not talking about all the other artificial sweeteners that we'll talk about later on in the week, but just sugar alone, there's over 61 different names for it that are hidden in your food. So we wanted to talk about the importance of that, the relevance of it, and the effects that sugar has on your body. So if you're not exactly sure what sugar is, I have little notes down here on the bottom here. It is a pure chemical extracted from a plant, which is purer than cocaine. We're going to compare sugar and cocaine a lot because they have a very similar response to your brain. So that is what sugar is. It affects your body in all different kinds of ways. If you have an overconsumption of sugar, you can find yourself being overweight, having insulin resistance, being tired. You can even struggle with sugar addictions, all of that fun stuff. Diabetes, I said weight gain, skin conditions, which is something that I've really suffered from a lot with acne. Whenever I eat sugar, I had some this weekend and my face is starting to break out already. It's kind of crazy. So
I guess the amount of side effects that it has versus the good, I guess if you could call it. I mean, everybody likes sugar. It's sweet, it's delicious to them, and maybe it's kind of like smoking a cigarette. Like, a cigarette doesn't taste that good, but then once you start craving nicotine and stuff, cigarettes are great. Could be similar with sugar. I mean, sugar itself in its raw form, I've never personally had it, but I'm sure it probably tastes like shit, and that's why they mask it in, like, with cocoa and different foods so that it's nice and sweet into your brain. But a lot of times you don't think of it. There's much more greater risks. So I'll run off a list here that I have in my phone that is common to everybody. That anybody could Google, like, negative effects of sugar and stuff, and it's there for you. Just a lot of us don't do it, including myself. And that's why we're doing these things to try to raise awareness. But let's see. It speeds up the aging process, suppresses immunity. That's a big one. With a lot of sickness going around, people think, I'm sugar and I need to have a glass of tea because I'm not feeding well, and then they're like dumping sugar in it and everything else. Disturbs your mineral balance in your body, sets off its natural chemistry that it has, raises cholesterol, triglycerides, tooth decay, weakness, causes aches, pain. Obviously, it causes weight gain, obesity. I mean, that's linked with a lot of things, but empty calories through sodas and sugars and stuff like that, you're going to get that all the time. Hyperactivity, I mean, I think that's mostly in kids. I could speak maybe for myself and maybe other people's that now I don't ever get hyper from sugar. I actually have an adverse effect where it puts me to sleep. So it also linked to depression, anxiety. Why? Because you're craving the shit, and when you don't have it, you think about it, and you don't think to associate like, well, that's just sugar. So you start tormenting your body because you're not giving it what it wants because you've created an addiction for yourself. Hormonal imbalance in men and stuff, in children, it decreases growth hormones. So like when you are growing, like say for me working out, doing my stuff, and kids that are growing in that, when you go to sleep at night, that activates your growth hormone. That's where you do all your repairing and everything. When you're decreasing that, that's where you're going to have shortage of height and weight and insufficiencies and growing. Constipation, fluid retention. Fluid retention is huge. when you're always feeling bloated and gross and everything else. And then of course the most worst side effect or bad thing is the dependency upon it, because then you just crave it, and when you don't have it you feel like shit, and then when you have it you have that moment of I feel good, and then you want it more, and that's that. I'll let you go in a second, but increased risks of diseases, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's disease, hypoglycemia, gallstones, kidney stones, coronary heart disease, asthma, arthritis, cancer, appendicitis, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, emphysema, headaches, migraines, yeast infections, certain, fatty liver, which you'll find like all sugars are not created equal, and different sugars do different things to different parts of your body, mostly attacking your liver, which I don't know. That's not one of them things we just keep swapping out. So we got to take care of that vital organ.
Yeah. So sugar has no nutrient value at all. It has no benefit to your body. There's no proteins in it. There's no fats in it, healthy fats. There's no nutrients at all. So there's really no reason why you need to have it or why it is in so much of our food, other than they just want to keep eating it. So here's the thing. I looked up some interesting facts today. In 1915, the average American person consumed 15 to 20 pounds of sugar per year, okay? I mean, that still kind of seems like a lot, but, baked goods and all that fun stuff. Today, people eat their body weight in pounds of sugar per year, plus 20 extra pounds of corn syrup. That's fucking astounding. Like, that is really crazy. And the thing is that there's gonna be some people who decrease all of that stuff. I don't really eat so much of it anymore, which means that there are people out there that eat even more than that. So the other interesting fact that I looked up earlier was that if you look at the chemical chain of sugar, it's really only one molecule off from cocaine. Sugar is missing nitrogen, and cocaine has that in there. So that is how similar they are, and we'll have all of the actual numbers on our blog. But that's pretty crazy. It treats your brain. It has the same dopamine response that cocaine does. So whenever you eat sugar, it releases dopamine in your brain, and that makes you feel all good, and and then it's then you're craving that feeling again, and that's how people get addicted to sugar. So, do you have anything else? No? Okay. So today we just wanted to educate you a little bit about sugar. Throughout the rest of the week, we're going to talk more about the difference between sugar and artificial sweeteners. We'll also talk about how to read nutrition labels and become a nutrition label ninja, because you have no idea the stuff that is hidden in your food if you're really not reading those labels. And so we really want to teach you guys so that you can be better educated when you go out there and go shopping for yourselves, when you think you're trying to feed your families really good stuff, and then you find out later it's so much worse. So that's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.